Yo. All right, we are back. It is the Dance Golf World podcast, the greatest golf podcast in the existence of the universe. Or at least that's what my mom tells me. Josh, joining me as always, producer, co-host, and friend. How are you, my guy?
I'm good, man. Busy week last week. Great weekend.
Yeah.
Got on the course a little bit.
You're playing golf more, and I love this. How's it going for you?
You know, it's going to be a long road. I already know. Didn't grow up golfing. Finally getting back into it and everything. We went to Lost Marsh out in Hammond, Indiana.
Great course.
Great course.
And it's like a municipal course. I think like the Village owns it or something like that. Mind-blowing.
I think it's a reserve.
Yeah.
Because the starter was talking to us, and he was like, yeah, there's deer out here, but you can't hunt and you can't fish on course because it's considered a national landmark or something. Yeah. But it was super fun. We played halfway decent. Played with my buddies. Dan's met him. We've golfed all together.
We had fun.
It's just a great time. We got a little saucy.
Did you?
Yeah, we got a little saucy.
Do you find that the sauce loosens the swing, gets you rolling, or do you just think you're playing better and when you review, you're not?
It comes hand in hand. There's a pocket.
Oh, yeah.
If you hit that pocket, you're solid. That's what happened with me. I mean, I'm still not good, but I was like piecing my drives. They were still slicing, but I was hitting solid contact consistently on my drives.
On the left side of the ball. I mean, you know, you're the lefty in the group.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you stand on the right side of the ball.
Stand on the right side of the ball, yeah.
Whatever.
Which is weird. You ever think about that? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, I'm glad that you are embracing the support so much.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it is a journey. I mean, you're talking about that. You're saying that, like, you know, it's a process. And that's the thing about golf. It doesn't come overnight. And no matter how far you come, you always feel like you could play a little bit better. There's just the strokes you leave out on the course, the putt you should have made, that chip shot that didn't go where you wanted. And, you know, I've been playing now for, 8 or 9 years. I haven't played my whole life either. And, you know, I was struggling to break 100. And now, you know, on a good round, I'm shooting 80, maybe high 70s. But I still have that same feeling of like, man, that drive didn't go where I wanted. That, you know, putt didn't roll the way I thought it was going to roll. And it is this beautiful, frustrating sport that is unbelievably addicting.
It is. And I really try to hone in.
Yeah.
And especially when we're at a new course, we recorded some.
I saw a little bit. It's good. You guys are going to have to keep an eye out for this.
Yeah, it'd
fun.
be on my page. We decided we wanted to play a little scramble. We didn't play the whole time a scramble, but towards the end, it was a full-on scramble. Really, like, just trying to shoot par.
Yeah.
We're not trying to shoot, you know, eagle on par fives or double albatross. It's like stupid stuff like that we have no business even attempting. But it was so much fun because we're gonna try to get out at least like once a week.
Wow.
Or at least me try to get out once a week and really try to hone in this game. By next season, I'll be ready to go.
We might have to get your gang out and do you know, some kind of a golf challenge. You know, make it a Dance Golf World pod challenge with Josh's boys.
I think we should do a 3v1.
3v1. I'm in. I'm totally
Bob the
in.
sports style. Everyone against Pat Perez, but everyone against you.
All right, I'm in. Let's schedule it. Put it on the books. Let's make it happen. Wow. Well, so much happening in the golf world. So much happening in the sports world. Josh, what's going on the Dan's Golf World site? What have you been reporting on over there?
All right. So real quick, you know, this past week has been very boring on the PGA Tour. 3M Open.
It was tough.
Jonathan Vegas won with he was minus 17.
Okay, real quick. And this, I say with all love and respect for the greatest golfers in the world. Who the hell is Jonathan Vegas?
Exactly.
And again, nothing against him. You know, the guy, he deserves his flowers, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's his moment. He won a PGA Tour event. But this is sort of the issue I've been having this year is, you know, the big names we like to root for are not around.
Well, especially this week, you know, our top golfers of the world they weren't available.
Yeah.
So
The Olympics,
and we'll get
it.
into that later. But the only name that I recognized that was in contention was the Heath Thegala.
Yeah.
And he was the only
fun
one.
to watch.
He's fun to watch, but I saw that young kid, the kid from Alabama who won. He was on there. He didn't even make cut. I forgot his name. But other than that, we see John Rahm finally in the victory circle.
John
for
Rahm
Live
took
Golf.
his first Live Golf victory after what we've been, how long has it been now? Is it been a year?
No,
not yet.
This season was his first season there.
Okay. I mean, and you know what? They played 12 events a season, so he's made it most of the way through the first season. It's not ridiculous. I mean, it's not crazy, but at the same time, it is a limited field, so we kind of would have expected it sooner.
The cool story about this, though, is that he beat his teammate by
Mr. Angry Terrell Hatton.
Yep.
One of my
him by one shot.
favorite tantrum golfers in the game.
And he missed. It was almost like a Rory McIlroy situation. He missed, I think, like a 6 or 8 foot putt.
Yeah.
It
might have even been shorter.
It might have even been shorter.
But it was like a weird wobbly downhill, like barely touch it and just pray and see what the ball does kind of a thing.
Yeah. And then Legion wins.
Yeah.
Wins outright.
Which, of course, if you got the guy taking the win and the other guy, in T2 tied in second with a couple other guys, I mean, they've got to take it on the points.
Yeah. And other than that, the biggest story and what we're going to dive probably into deep in this episode.
We're getting real deep. We're getting golf balls deep.
Yeah. Is the Olympics.
Yes.
The 2024 Paris Olympics.
However that goes. Yeah.
We have the USA has 7 competitors, or for golf, I should say, 7 Olympians. We have on the guy side Scotty Scheffler.
Of course, number 1 in the world. Of course, you got to send Scotty.
Xander Schauffele.
Is he number 2 in the world yet?
I think so.
He is. He's surpassed Rory, which makes sense. I feel like Rory's still living on legacy points because we're not seeing the wins. We're not seeing, all that craziness. But Xander's had a hell of a year. 2 majors under his belt. Of course, send him. Send him to France.
Colin Morikawa. That's an iffy pick.
I mean, who would I pick over him? Other than Bryson DeChambeau? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I just don't know if there's like gold medal written all over that.
And then Wyndham Clark, which, okay, this is what I think about Wyndham Clark. So he has not been playing good.
No, not this year. Last year, he had like this breakout year. U.S. Open, playing killer, awesome 2023 year.
Yeah. But this year, he's been struggling hard.
2024 has been a little lackluster out of our guy.
Yeah, and I swear, I think it should be the 4 major champions or the major champions that are American for the U.S. team. Bryson DeChambeau, 100% should be there.
It is unbelievable that he's not. I mean, to me, and not that I follow the WNBA at all, but it feels like a very Caitlin Clark type situation.
Yeah.
Like, here, Caitlin Clark, breakout star in the WNBA. I mean, the reason that it is even like a topic of conversation anywhere, and they leave her out. I don't know if it's politics. I don't know if there's more into the selection process than I know, but nothing about that makes sense. Same thing with Bryson DeChambeau. How? I mean, this dude is playing unbelievable golf.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he's at the PGA Championship down to the wire with Xander. Xander takes it by 1. I mean, barely. Then he comes back and then wins the U.S. Open. We're talking 2 major titles borderline in his pocket.
Yeah.
And then we're going to roll around to the Olympics and look to Wyndham Clark? Like, I mean, come on. Like, I feel like this is a scenario where all golf politics should be set aside. It is send your country's best. That's what it's about. And then you compete against every other country's best. And it's your one chance, your one time to prove something to the whole world. And for me, it's not about, which tour player is going to take a gold medal. It's about the United States or whatever country that you're wanting represented in golf to send the best you have, to say, this is our country, this is what we have. And us here in the United States of America feel like we didn't do that this year. Or at
No.
least that's my opinion.
No, the golf politics right now are insane.
They are.
Live
like high
golfers,
school.
Yeah, live golfers are always getting the boot. But you know what? It's going to be a great event.
It is.
I have a feeling Xander Schauffele's getting the gold medal again.
Ooh. Do you think we're going to get like some, I mean, obviously, Scotty Scheffler, like in terms of world golf ranking, which again, how much credit can you put into that? Because that is the reason that Bryson DeChambeau's not there. But either way, Scotty Scheffler being the number one player in the world by double, you know what I mean? By some crazy number. But he hasn't really shown up well to big majors, big events at this point. And I'm curious, are we going to get Scotty Scheffler, who is at the Players, who just goes out and dominates and runs the show? Or are we going to get Scotty Scheffler at the US Open, who we're like curious if he's going to make the cut?
Yeah. I just have a feeling that it's going to be a strong showing for US.
Yeah. I think Xander will play.
Oh yeah, he's going to ball out.
He won the last gold medal. Do you think he's going back to back?
Yeah.
2-time?
100%. Yeah, he's the hottest player in golf right now.
He is. Well, what a year. Take PGA Championship, take the Open, and then take the Olympics, all like in the matter of 2-3 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Wild. They're going to be playing over at Le Golf National. Of course, the 2018 home for the Ryder Cup, and now the home of the 2024 Olympics, and potentially the home for an Olympic gold golf. I'd love to see it.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. And it's not some like, some whack job like links course where anything could happen. We're out in Scotland, the wind's blowing 95 miles an hour. I do feel like we're a little bit more in some traditional pro golf style golf course, and I'm hoping our boys shine. I mean, you know what? I hope Wyndham Clark surprises us. I hope he redeems himself, because the Ryder Cup last year, 2023, I felt like, nothing crazy. And then as well as this year on tour, the majors, I don't know. We haven't seen a ton. Surprise me, Wyndham. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'd love to have it.
Yeah, prove everyone wrong.
What about the ladies?
Oh, dude, the ladies now. We got Nelly Korda.
Oh, let's go.
Rose Zhang.
Yes.
And then Lilia Vu, which I don't really know who she is. I know the other two. I don't know the other one.
Here's what I feel like. Nelly won the last Olympic gold for the ladies.
Of course.
You think she's doing it again? Back to back. Her and Xander, they're going to just both double dominate 2 Olympics back to back right in a row.
The only thing is I don't really follow women's golf like I should.
But here's the thing.
But I haven't seen how she been golfing. Is she on, or, well,
she went on that crazy run earlier this year where she won, her and Scotty were going back and forth where it was like, who can win more tournaments in a row? I mean, she's had an absolute dynamite on fire year. Now, I will say that along with the caveat of, I don't watch a ton of LPGA, but I kind of keep up with it. I keep up with the headlines, whatever. There's a lot of golf to watch. I don't know. The best golfers in the world for female golf all play on the LPGA.
Oh, yeah.
And she is dominating that tour. So is she not just kind of going out there and playing against a lot of the same ladies that she's been beating all year anyway?
That is true. That is true. I have a feeling she's going to win by like 7 strokes.
Locked.
Yeah, she's locked in.
But here's the problem. We have been horrendous on our predictions so far this year.
Man.
So are we either A, going to finally nail one and get it right? Or did we just jinx our girl Nelly Korda?
We need to start putting up a ticker somewhere.
Yeah.
Like how many times we got it wrong, how many times we got it right, and then we'll move forward, and then maybe we can start getting into some bets.
All right.
But we got to start making some better guesses here.
You could almost like at this point like fade against us. If you were like a betting person, you tune into the show, see who we're calling, and then just bet against that, and you'd probably do pretty well.
Oh,
but
yeah.
We go in feeling strong. That's why we don't generally recap the result of our predictions.
No.
It's been ugly.
What are you looking forward to in the Olympics? You
Yeah.
Of course, golf. But is
course.
there anything else? Like, do you like the traditions of the Olympics, like the ceremonies? And...
Yeah, I used to. We don't have to get all the way into that. I felt like, the grandeur of an Olympic opening ceremony, like this. I love the vibe of them, like walking this like big stadium arena, and like the big groups, and it's like this parade, and then you get like the big the guy like shooting the bow and arrow to light the torch.
That thing is sick.
It feels like like ancient Olympiad, and it's like this timeless tradition. And this year we're like whizzing around on pontoon boats. Like I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if it was for me or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that one.
Yeah.
All right. But you know what's cool is
Can we get a real horse? Do we need like a silver boat horse?
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I don't know.
The cool part is like about this opening ceremony, and I just realized that. You okay over there?
I am. I'm choking on my own words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So with these opening ceremonies, when the countries start coming in with all the Olympians from each country, I didn't know this until literally yesterday.
But the order of how they come in?
The order they come in.
Please help me, because I was confused. I'm sitting here going through the countries, and I'm like, oh, here comes us, United States, and then they're not there, and then some other countries, and then I'm like, oh, maybe they're like saving them for like a grand finale, and then they weren't last either. Please help me.
So it always starts out with Greece.
Greece is always first.
Always first, because that is where the Olympics started.
So tradition matters in that part.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
We can throw other traditions out the window, but we'll keep that one. Good.
Then it's alphabetical order.
All right.
Until you reach the last two.
Okay.
So the second to last is going to be next Olympics host.
Oh. Okay.
So it's like they get their own spotlight because they
Hence,
they
it's
have
going to
it
be
next year.
in 2028. We're going to have the Los Angeles Olympics. Yep. United States was second to last. Okay. It's adding up.
Then it finishes with the host country.
And then France was last. Okay.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was for like a dramatic effect. But there's some rhyme to the reason. It makes sense. I get it. Stuff I'm looking forward to. Obviously, golf. I don't know, but for some reason, there's a part of me that wishes there was a little bit of a change up to the golf format. I mean, it's just a standard 4-day tournament. All the players had out their tee times, the whole thing. I mean, in a lot of ways, it looks like every other golf tournament. Now, at the same time, I feel like you can't change it a ton. Like, swimmers, like, whatever. If you're doing the 50-meter free or whatever, like, they're like, well, we're going to change it to make it more fun for the Olympics. Like, well, no, like, this is what I train and this is my distance. I compete at Worlds. I come to the Olympics. I'm going to do my thing. So on one hand, I do understand that you can't just like change up the thing that they're so good at. But on the other hand, it feels weird to me, like, because we watch a ton of golf, follow golf, and it's just like a regular golf tournament. Like, I wish there was like some sort of, and I'm not going to say Ryder Cup vibe, but some way where there's a little bit of twist to the game. And whether it's countries are pairing up, it's a 2-man thing, it's something, I don't know. I think that'd make it a blast. But at the end of the day, we need to choose who is the winner, who gets the gold, who gets, awarded that medal. But I don't know. I'd love to see some mix up to the format. That's just
now,
me.
Is it just individual?
Yeah, it's just
they don't even have a team. Like, they have their individual score and team.
And there's no team. It's like
seems
U.S. could win gold and silver. U.S. could win silver and nothing else, and then the other guys just get to handshake their buddy for doing a great job. But there is no like U.S. golf team took gold.
I wish it was like that, man. Like if they could, you could still do the individual.
Yeah, but so you want like some live golf action, like like the way Legion 13 took the winning team. With Rahm and Hatton. Mm-hmm. So Rahm had the win, Hatton was T2, and then their team overall had the most points.
Yeah, it's perfect. That would be an awesome way to. Of course, people will say like that's terrible, but I feel like that's the best way to get the bang for your buck, because not only are you competing for yourself, you're competing with your boys, like your team.
Yeah.
It's the Olympics.
It's ride or die.
Like,
you know what I mean?
feel like the Olympics should be all team sports added in, and then individual stuff would be added in.
Yeah.
So, like
I said, I feel like it's a little lackluster.
Yeah.
There could be a little more creativity in it. And there's not. It's fine. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for a lot of stuff. I'm excited for some other games. I don't know. I just want to be more excited for golf.
what other sports are you looking to go watch, and what are your favorites out of all of them?
You know, I'm kind of waiting for Gizmo to chime in here because I feel like he's a man of the athletes.
Oh man, yeah. What does Gizmo have to say?
Excuse me.
Oh,
The little gnome in the back has an opinion.
all right.
My favorite Olympic sport is women's beach volleyball.
Of course.
It's the ultimate paradise. Watching those bodies move, every jump and dive is a feast for the eyes, leaving me breathless and begging for more.
Oh,
I swear, man.
a feast for the eyes. Dude, is he a little pervy?
He's an animal.
He is.
He's an animal, man. We got to do something about him.
I feel like at some point we're gonna come in here and we need like a bird cage just to contain this dude.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Do you know about the modern pentathlon?
You know, I heard a little bit about it.
I love this thing. So here's basically what it is. I don't know how long ago. They've been doing this forever, and then they modernized it about 100 years ago. But basically what they created was the sense that if you were a warrior and you were trapped like behind enemy lines and you were to need to escape, what would be the skills that you would need to possess to get yourself back to, your home team side, back across enemy lines onto home turf territory? So what they did is they combined a sport that consists of fencing, freestyle swimming, equestrian show jumping, pistol shooting, and cross-country running. Because, okay, so I break out of whatever captivity I'm in, and I'm in a sword fight. And then I've got to swim across like a moat. And then I've got to go jump on, they call it an unknown horse. So this is the other interesting part. They don't train with these horses. They're assigned their horse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's how many ever athletes there are, there's X amount of horses, and then you just get assigned like, Tonto horse A. And then you just go compete with this horse you've never been on before. But that's sort of like the scenario, because if you were escaping from whatever you would call it, it wouldn't be your own horse. You're just finding a horse and jumping on it. And then pistol shooting, you're kind of shooting your way out of battle. And then cross-country running, and just blitzkrieg and trying to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, that seems like that's a lot.
It is a lot. And I what I like about it is just how chaotic it is. Like
that seems like almost, you remember like in the Olympic, in the Winter Games?
Yeah.
The one where they're like skiing and they're shooting.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Well, like that would be like taking that and then throwing in like hula hooping, and then you got to shoot like 7 3-pointers. Like, you know what I mean? Just like make it super random.
They should just start putting that bar stool office thing that they do.
Oh,
the
yeah,
gauntlet.
yeah.
Just start putting that in the Olympics.
I will tell you what, though. I would say more so than the sports I'm excited about, there are some sports that legitimately frustrate me.
You've been talking to me about it.
Legitimately frustrated. Here's one, and I will tell you, this one bothers me. I'm not sure if this is a sport, if this is just performance. I don't know how it gets in the Olympics. They call it kata, and these guys are basically doing like kung fu karate moves for no one. Like, they're not in a fight. They're just literally performing these moves and yelling, and the louder they yell, the more the crowd cheers. And I don't get it. If you're going to do fight moves, fight somebody. Why are we doing fight dancing? I don't get it.
That's a real sport, though.
How?
Trust me, my girlfriend's been growing up doing that. She's a 2nd-degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
She did this growing up, and yeah, it's legit, man.
I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, wow. I understand it. I mean, I can see how some people get into it. I feel awkward right now.
Well, okay, I look at it like this. Basically, it's like
I'm sorry, Josh's girlfriend, for those offensive words.
basically I look at it as like martial arts version of like gymnastics floor.
Okay. You're helping me here.
Yeah.
Because I just thought we're like, could you imagine like they have boxing performance where they're like,
That's the same thing.
and there's nobody on the other side. Like, put somebody there and hit each other. I don't know.
I trust me, it took me a while to understand it too, but
Yeah.
then once I saw it more and more, I'm like, okay, this is an art form rather than it's like your next one on the list here.
Breakdancing.
Breakdancing.
What are we doing? Like, I thought this was like, you got the Beat Boys like in the 80s, and these guys put down like a piece of cardboard box and they wear like a beanie hat and spit on their heads. And now it's an Olympic sport. They call it breaking.
Yeah, they're making a new movie. It's Step Up 7, the Olympics.
Dude, tune me out. I am not getting front row seats for this.
I heard Moose is in attendance for
Moose.
Have you seen Step Up?
I know. Like,
You have not seen
No,
Step Up.
I've seen it on like TNT with commercial breaks. Like, I haven't sat down and rented it. Like,
Dude, Channing Tatum's in the movie.
no, I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
Listen, he lost me after that one like stripper movie, whatever that
Oh,
was called.
Magic Mike?
Yeah.
Dude, those movies are awesome.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Dude.
You watch this stuff?
Channing Tatum is funny as hell.
Dude, listen, you know me. I'm not a gigantic movie guy, so it's got to be a great movie for me to sit down and watch it. Do you either do you watch every movie that exists, or do you really tune in for this stuff? Like, you can't wait for it to come out.
I tune in for a good amount of stuff.
You watch a lot.
Like every Marvel movie I'm seeing opening day. I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
How are they in the same movie?
Well, they were both 21st Century Fox characters. So when Disney bought them out, this is the first movie Deadpool is in the MCU,
What's that mean?
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, okay.
And basically, it was just a tip of the cap, end all of the 21st Century Fox movies, all of them, which includes all the X-Men's, all 3 of the Fantastic Four movies, and a couple of them like Blade back in the day, Elektra back in the day, and all that stuff. But those are really the only ones I really tune in for. Other than that
and Magic Mike.
and Channing Tatum,
Anything he does.
which I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut, or else I will spoil something in the movie. But
Well, thank you, because
Yeah.
I've got it in my favorites list I'm going to be watching tonight. It's not happening.
no, you have to go to the theater.
Here's what I don't understand with all these superhero movies. It seems to me, because I don't watch any of them, that they're like, okay, there was like this period of time where like, oh, we're going to do this character and we're going to do this character. And like, oh, now we're breaking out like this character. And now we've got like Bugface guy and we've got like whatever, all these other guys. And like, Spit Venom guy. Now they're like, oh, we did them all. Oh, I know. We'll put these 3 in one and then make them versus that guy. Okay, cool. Now we'll do that. And then we'll take like 6 of these guys and then they'll be like in this team in a club and then they'll face this other club of guys from these other movies. And then we're like, oh, we did all that. Oh, okay. Well, I know. We'll go back in time and then we'll redo them again. And we're on like our 75th Spider-Man movie. And I'm like, think of a new movie.
Well,
What are we doing?
they base the movies off stories in the comics. It's not like they just came up with it in their head.
I thought they were just coming up with this in their head.
Uh,
I thought you had like a group of writers who were just like dumbfounded and they're like, oh, I got one.
No, so
This
like,
all already happened.
yeah, so like
So it's all been spoiled.
yes and no. Well, like the Infinity Saga.
I don't know. No.
Okay, so like
I don't even know what that is.
like Avengers, Infinity Wars, and Endgame. That was a huge storyline in I think the 80s. It was huge, and then they had
In the comic books
Yeah.
or in movie
in
format?
the comic books.
Okay.
Same with Civil War. Actually, Civil War was like a year-long story that they shrunk into a tiny movie because it was. You probably never seen it. It's Captain America: Civil War.
No.
Iron Man versus Captain America.
Yeah.
They're going at it. It's about this act that superheroes are being tracked by the government, and they give them their names so the government can control them. And one of them likes it, one of them don't. They clash, but in the comics, it's the whole MCU or Marvel universe.
Thank you.
Whole Marvel universe going at it. literally one side and one side. And then in the comics, every individual superhero or comic book run has their own insight on the story. So like you'll have a character that's trying to play both sides, and you see one side, and then he flips over to the other side and flips back and forth, and you got people that are
They're
dead
traitors.
straight. Yeah, when I tell you the comics are so much better than the movies.
How can
so
a
much
comic be better than the movie? Like you get little bubbles where a guy's like, and then in the movies you've got like,
So
like there's spaceships and stuff. Like,
so the stories are more in depth, because when you have a movie, you can only have so much runtime. You
Yeah.
can only fit so much in. You can only have a certain budget. At that time with Infinity War and Endgame, they didn't have
there's so much going on here.
And Civil War, they didn't have that whole list of heroes like they do now, because Fox, the 21st Century Fox, and then Sony, they didn't have that. So making those movies how they did, why they did, it just makes sense.
Yeah,
But
I guess. I mean, it makes sense to people who it makes sense to.
yeah. All right, let's get right back on
All
track here.
right,
We
my God.
that was a tangent of all tangents right there. Oh man.
I'm still so confused.
What sports do you think should be added into the Olympics? Or sports that should be replaced and added in?
Well, okay. Here is one that I find interesting. In 2028, they're bringing back flag football.
They're
Okay.
bringing it back?
Yeah, apparently it was in. I think that's what I understand,
I'll have to
and
look that up.
it's returning. I think either way, we're getting flag football in 2028, which I think is interesting because I was listening to, right after Celine Dion was singing at the opening ceremony, Peyton Manning was talking about how he's so envious of these people. He had always wanted to represent his country, and he never got the chance to. In his sport of football, he never could. And now flag football is coming back. And you even got guys like Patrick Mahomes like showing interest and want to be a part of this. Let's just do regular football. Why do we got to do flag football?
You can't do regular football.
Why? Let's play some real football. Let's knock some heads.
Well, think about it. They only play once a week.
So?
You can't play a however team tournament in football. So many people will get hurt.
Dude, we're going to be out there seeing
And football's not
gym class football.
American football's not that big overseas.
Well, yeah, because they can't do it. They'll all get hurt.
Well, no, they all play rugby.
Well, I mean, listen, all I'm saying is I like to see sports in their fullest format. Again, this is why I have complaints about performance karate. I just want to see somebody get kicked in the head. And then flag football, I just want to see somebody just get and listen, again, I don't even watch football at all. I haven't watched a football game probably all the way through, maybe ever. But either way, this is my opinion that we should be out there just knocking heads and playing some real deal football, not some gym class flag football. That's my take.
Now, I think that they should bring back baseball.
You see, now that's a game they could play multiple days in a row because nobody gets hurt.
And it used to be in there, but the rule was they couldn't have any pros. If you're in the MLB, you couldn't play.
But that doesn't make sense. How are you supposed to send your best except for if you're
That's how the NBA used to be.
If you're the best at something, you do it professionally. Why would you send who makes up these rules? Who's in charge of any of this?
The committee, man.
Who is this committee? I feel like when I think of the committee, I think of Dr. Evil, in his underground lair at the long table, and they're like, Scott! That's what I'm imagining this committee is, making just terrible decisions.
And this last one that I wrote down, it was in contention. It was so close to being in the games this year, and it got cut. It was bowling.
How do you know it was almost in the games? Did the committee do a little?
Yeah, I was watching news and all that stuff. I'm in bowling talk, man. I'm deep.
You're real deep.
I'm deep.
Your bowling balls
I'm
deep.
a scratch bowler, dude. I'm deep.
Dude, you're real deep. Is there in golf, you can be beyond a scratch golfer?
Mm-mm.
Bowling scratch is the pinnacle. That's it. There's not.
Most leagues is 220 average.
Yeah.
And then scratch from then on.
Because there's no shooting under par in bowling.
Yeah, there is. Okay, shooting under par is I look at it like this. Considering you're bowling a tournament, even
Yeah.
is 200 average. So
Oh.
3 games, 600, you're even.
Even Steven.
And then anything, it's the opposite though. Anything above 600, you're plus. Anything below, you're minus. So like I'll shoot like 7. Like a couple weeks ago, I shot 703.
There's so many things I don't know anything
So
about.
I was plus 103 pins from that 200 average.
Yeah. You know what I want to see in the Olympics?
What?
Long drive.
That would be sick.
Dude, it'd be so sick.
That would be so cool.
I want to see long drive format. These guys just cranking the ball. Like, and you get a gold medal for hitting the longest golf ball on the planet.
That would be actually pretty sick.
That would be a lot of fun.
That would be.
And I feel like it would, because a lot of countries would try and send people. I feel like people that you're not seeing traveling around like in the World Long Drive Tour and stuff like that, you're going to get people showing up that are like, listen, I'm not over, playing at the Knoxville, Tennessee World Long Drive event, but I'm good and I'm going to the Olympics. I think we would see some breakout stars.
DeChambeau might get a spot then.
Oh, he's finally in maybe.
Yeah, that would take the cake.
I feel like we need to transition though. We've talked enough about the athletes and the sports. There is a lot going on in the Olympic Village.
Yeah,
a
dude.
ton. Talk about getting on a fun talk.
Yeah,
like
man.
Olympic Village talk is all over the place, and it's been like building. We've got everything from the beds and all this stuff, and we've been seeing videos and everything leading up to it. I think this committee and this underground layer needs to be stopped.
Well, here's the thing, man. Paris, they wanted to try to be as eco-friendly as possible. And, they didn't want to have wooden beds, but they did that in wherever the Olympics was during COVID. They did that, but they did that for, health concerns. This year, they have no reason to do that.
Yeah. Well, they're doing the same thing. They've made a determination on the food selection.
Yeah.
And they've decided that they want to serve a more plant-based diet to these athletes. I feel like every athlete of every sport is on their own very specific diet.
Yeah.
And, whatever it is, whether, it's your ratio, your macros to your micros and, your carbs or protein and all this stuff, that these guys are so dialed every day out of the year. I mean, you even hear like stories of Michael Phelps talking about eating like 15,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't just willy-nilly calories.
No.
I'm sure there was like something specific to each and every one of those most every single day. And then you're going to get a committee who's like, well, we've decided we're going to put all of you guys on this different diet. This isn't about saving the planet or not.
No.
This is about a handful select of the greatest athletes on the planet in all of these various disciplines and sports. And you're going to make a determination about their food. And then we find out now they're running out of food because these guys have to eat more because there's not enough protein and carbs. And then we find out that they're serving raw meat because they can't even keep up with these guys. Like,
Oh, I can give them some raw meat, all right.
Oh, my God.
dude,
You're
out of pocket.
Come on, dog.
You're out of pocket. Wow.
He's got some good timing, though.
He does. You know what, Gizmo? You're always guaranteed for a laugh, but nobody's interested.
Can you imagine that,
in your
dude?
raw meat?
Can you imagine that, though? You're an Olympic athlete and you're getting served raw meat?
That's insanity. So not only are you getting this whack job diet and food that aren't, what you're accustomed to and training and all this, and now finally you're like, okay, well, let's get some meat and get some protein, and it's raw? Like, come on.
Speaking of raw meat, Josh, did you get that article I sent you this morning? I think that topic of discussion needs a deep dive.
Yeah. So Gizmo sends me articles before every episode, and most of the time I have to cut them. Because most of the time it's on, special websites that, not a lot of people are allowed to see. But last year they had a ban. They banned this last year. The sex ban.
Oh. I hear it gets wild.
You have 11,000 athletes.
Yeah.
In this village.
You're talking like peak performance. We're talking like just all of the hormones and everything you name it.
Testosterone and estrogen
coursing
just
through the
flowing.
veins. of these people.
Flowing.
And you put them in a big camp with cardboard beds and bubble wrap mattresses, you know it's going down.
Fortnite every night.
Every single night.
They gave out, or are giving out, 600,000 condoms.
Get out of here.
600,000 condoms.
That's beyond the 500,000 mark.
We did the math.
Okay, go break it down for me, Josh. This is important right now.
600,000 condoms for 11,040 athletes equals to about 54 condoms a person.
Jesus.
Divide that by the 17 days that they're there.
Yes.
That is 3 times they could use a condom.
Per day?
Per day.
Oh my God. That's the gold medal. And going to the Olympics to be involved in this sort of, I don't know, escapade, if you will.
And since the ban was lifted this year, the one thing that they decided they wanted to like try to keep a hold of is that they didn't want other athletes, Olympians going into other countries. Like, because they each have like their own little villa or
You want
like
to keep it
dorm room.
segregated?
Yeah, they're trying to keep it like,
Oh.
I mean, they have common areas where everyone, hangs out and stuff, but they're trying to separate everyone, make sure everyone has their own privacy, teams have their own privacy and stuff like that. But still, I've seen TikToks from pro athletes that are at the Olympics talking about the beds and trying to give it a test run. I saw this TikTok of a girl bouncing on the bed to see if it was even able to, and she's like, yeah, it will work.
I thought the thing would fold like an Amazon box.
Yeah, well, can you imagine? Like,
I saw some videos of these like weightlifters, like these world strongman type of dudes that are just humongous. Like, I don't even know, 300-400 pound dudes that are just pure raw meat.
Yeah.
And they're sitting on the bed like they don't even fit.
No.
Like these guys, like you don't think that they need a good night of sleep before lifting more than anyone on the planet?
And I found out an interesting fact because I thought that if you didn't stay at the Olympic Village, you weren't allowed to compete in the games.
I thought you had to. I thought that was part of the gig.
So
first of all, I thought you would want to.
Yeah.
Because,
So I looked it up.
All the fun stuff going on.
Apparently, you don't.
Okay.
But all the accommodations, food, transportation, and stay, all paid for. Now you're on your own with all that now. But, like, for example, like the USA men's basketball team never stays at the Olympic Village.
LeBron's not in a cardboard bed.
No, and think about it. Do you think the golfers are there, though, too? I feel like they have so much money that they don't want to.
Somebody was doing some calculations on Scotty Scheffler and his earnings this year with all of his winnings and then his player bonus he's going to get and everything. And then if he wins the FedEx Cup and all that, that potentially he could be the highest paid athlete on the planet.
Wow.
In one single year. Do you think that he's on a bubble wrap bed?
No.
Not a chance.
No.
Not a chance.
And like they have the beds like softness, like they test them.
Yeah. There was something they did like an AI scan of like your body and your weight and all this stuff. And they're like, oh, you've got like a wider tuchus. Like you're going to want like a C mat for your middle section, like an A mat for like your top section, like whatever. Like these things aren't even one flat mattress. They're like in sectionals. That sounds awful. That's like, to me, that's like taking a bunch of cushions off of your lawn furniture and laying them down and calling it a bed.
Yeah. And last thing, if that doesn't take the cake and leaving, there's no AC.
I couldn't handle that.
Countries have brought in AC units for their athletes because there's no AC in these. And you look online, you see these pictures. It's like a dorm room.
It's almost like minimum security prison.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Like these guys are the best athletes in the world. And they're just, it's not like I know they're not trying to treat them like garbage, like shit, but
they are.
Yeah. Like
whether they're trying to or not, they are.
These guys should have the best hotels.
Yeah.
Or build the nicest hotels because they build everything there for the Olympics. Build a nice place where they could all just stay and be comfortable.
I mean, at a minimum, Give them an upgrade and put them in like a Best Western or a La Quinta. Like anything would be better than what they've got these guys in. And it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
You know the first thing I do when I get in a hotel room? First thing I do, I come in and I drag my suitcase in and I plop it on something like, whatever, like credenza is there that I can unzip it. And as soon as I plop that thing down, don't even unzip yet, I go find the air control unit and I just start pressing down. I want air on now. Like I just press it until it won't go down anymore. And then I go about my way. And once it's too cold in the room, I press it up like 1. That's it.
Okay.
That's how I want to be. So a lot of times, because these thermostats lie to you, like I'll have the thing set on like 65. I'll have, maybe like sometimes it'll be 66. That's what I want my hotel room at when I'm staying the night somewhere. They say that these rooms at night, when it's in the cool of the night, should, by all their calculations, should average around 79 degrees.
Which is 10 degrees higher than what it should be.
Nightmare.
Do you know what I do first thing I do when I go in a hotel room?
Well, if it involves lotion and Kleenex, I don't want to know.
No, dude, I check the Bible.
You check the Bible? Just make sure all the verses are there, like Genesis 1:1, sitting right there in the front?
People put money in there.
No.
Yeah. You never heard of that?
No. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you know how many hotels I stay in? I've never checked the Bible.
Yeah, next time you check, you might find like a $20 bill in there.
Why would somebody put money in the Bible? Are they like tithing, like your tithes and offerings going?
I don't know. Maybe it's just like,
or is it like a hiding spot?
No, it's more like I'm gracing you.
Oh,
type of
like
thing.
Keep it or double it and give it to someone else kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
keep it.
Another huge controversy.
Yeah.
Canada's women's soccer team drone scandal.
What are they doing?
So this is what happened. They've been in suspicion of this for a couple years now. Coach Bev Priestman was exiled and sent home just before the game started.
Jesus.
They flew drones over New Zealand's team while they were practicing. Now, it doesn't make any sense because New Zealand's women's soccer team is awful. They are not good at all, and Canada is a pretty decent soccer team. They're not as good as the best teams, but they're up there.
That's crazy. Like, what are we doing?
So the team was stripped of 6 points. That's like losing 2 games.
You have no chance.
They have a chance if they win. If they win out, well, it's not the team's fault; it's the coach's fault.
Well,
so
it's the organization's fault.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's like, I'm sorry that your left wing is going to be punished.
Yeah.
But it's the organization's fault.
Yeah. So that means it's like losing 2 games.
Yeah.
But if they win out, they could be the 3rd seed. So they're not completely out of it.
Yeah.
But
good.
But
that's what you get. What, flying a drone? That is like, that's not even like, oh, we were walking by and I just kind of looked. Like, no, that there's a plan. You knew what you were doing.
Yep.
You set up your drone, probably to run some updates on it. I know how a drone is. Those things are never easy.
And then they got fined $256,000.
Who gets that money? They put it towards
I think the
food?
committee gets that money.
They put it towards like a nice meal for the athletes.
Or new hotel.
Maybe like a Blackstone grill to cook the meat. I don't know.
And
invest it.
And records state that this was not the first time this has happened from them.
Oh, they're dirty.
Yeah.
They're dirty. Get them out of here. Get them out. We don't need any cheating at the Olympics.
Yeah, no.
Play it straightforward. Send your best. Play the game. Whatever it is, lift up some heavy stuff. Whatever you're doing, just play and be fair. That's all I think you should be doing.
Excuse me, I have another great idea.
Go ahead.
Oh.
I got a good game to play while watching the Olympics.
Oh.
Every time Great Britain wins a medal, you drink 6 beers.
Every time?
Every time. Dude, why are you rooting on Great Britain?
Yeah, come on, dude. Let's get on the U.S. team here.
What? Can't you tell from my accent that I'm not from here?
Oh.
Dan kidnapped me when I was a wee lad. I miss my parents, my siblings, my friends. I'm still waiting for the day I strike my revenge. But for now, after this episode, I am going to sit my no-mouse on the couch and watch my home country kick ass on the football pitch.
Wow. I guess he heard soccer and it was like, okay, let me put this in there.
How are you going to call me out like that, though?
Yeah.
Like, what's that all about, dude?
You asked him.
You went into my suitcase willingly and excited, I thought, but perhaps you were drunk and high like you tend to be. So now it's my fault.
Yeah.
You're a deranged man, and I feel like you need to be tamed or you need to go back to the pub. Either way, leave me alone. All right.
Do you think United States is going to lead in medals this year?
You know, I always think so. Well, here's the thing. Okay. I feel like the pontoon boat show at the opening does give some perspective to the fact that it's like, wow, the U.S. is the best. We, get the most. I think we have the most players too, though, don't we? I mean, like, we had the biggest boat. We were slammed. We were packed. Did anybody else? And search it up quick. Figure out what countries send the most players. Because on one hand, it is cool to be like, wow, we're the best at so many things. But it's like, yeah, but you guys tried the most times.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bit of a numbers game. But either way, I do think we will. And I think it's fun. They played a clip from a previous Olympics, and I don't know when it was. It was some woman who was competing for Australia, and she was so happy that another country won, just so they didn't have to hear the Star Spangled Banner at the award ceremony one more time. She was like, if I have to hear that, she's like, if I have to hear that sound one more time. It was great. That's not Australian. I don't know what I just did.
Yeah. U.S. leads. So U.S. has the most with 594 athletes.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's...
Who's second? Is there a list or no?
It's France with 571.
Oh. So we're not like way in the lead. I mean, a little bit. Okay, so it's fair. It's a fair fight.
Yeah, that's I'm pretty sure that's the number here. I'm like trying to be quick here. Both countries also have slight advantages just by sheer volume of athletes who are representing them. The U.S. has the largest delegation with 594 athletes. France closely follows with 571.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of the Olympics. We have a lot more to come. They're going to be here for a few more weeks.
Yep.
Olympic talk is done. Olympic talk is done. What else here? Let's see what else we got. This is all Olympic talk. Olympic talk. Get it out of here.
Yeah, get it out of here.
Get it out of here. Get it out of here. I got some more notes on the Olympics. I'm going to get this out of here. More numbers on math and the condoms.
Yep.
Jesus Lord alive. All right. Back into our regular scheduled programming for the show. I love to jump into whatever video on the Dan's Golf World socials kind of was moving or creating controversy in the past week. And I posted a video, and this was like a sort of a throwaway video. If you guys follow my channels, some videos I put a ton of effort into. I write, I script, I do this whole thing, and it's a gigantic project. Other videos, I literally just like react. It takes 10 seconds and I post it just because it's something that sort of struck me that I saw usually somewhere on social media in my swiping. This particular video was a guy rolling a golf ball down one of these little golf ball rolling ramps. And he showed that the golf balls don't all go the same direction. Some go in the hole, some don't go in the hole, but he's rolling them all from the same spot. And the controversy in the comments ensued from there on out. I think, the video at this point has, I don't know, somewhere probably over 2 million views and in the range of over like 2,000 comments between TikTok and Instagram alone. Doesn't include YouTube. And it is wild how people are feeling and reacting about this concept of putting.
Yeah, let me pull this thing up here.
Pull this up for us here, Josh.
I should usually check these things before we air, but is there sound on this thing?
We're going unchecked. I don't think so. I think it's just me ranting. He then proceeds to roll a few more balls, which only half of them go in.
Let's start this from the beginning here.
All right. Play it back.
Okay, come on.
So is this complete proof that putting is just pure luck? Look at this. This guy's got one of these putting ramp things where you can set the perfect line and the perfect speed so the ball goes in. He does. It goes in. He then proceeds to roll a few more balls, which only half of them go in. How? So you mean to tell me if I have the perfect line and the perfect speed, I roll the ball, it's still only going to go in the hole half the time? This makes no sense to me. Putting does not make sense. So is this complete proof? All right. Shut up, Dan. We've already heard you say all that. One of the big things that people were bringing up is chaos theory. And a lot of people were referring to Jurassic Park in the moment that the chaos theory is explained. Here's the thing. Chaos theory or not, the point I am making in this video is the perfect line and the perfect speed does not go in over and over again. You can say it's because of chaos theory. You can say it's because of whatever the hell you want. My point is, you stand over the ball and you putt it the exact same over and over, and it doesn't go in the hole every single time. I don't need to know why. I'm just discussing the fact that putting makes no sense.
What's chaos theory?
It's the infinite amount of potential for variables. And so they're equating that to, okay, the first ball rolled and now there's one blade of grass that's laying different because the first ball touched it. And then the wind might have blown a little more and there was an ounce of dirt on this ball. And so it's this infinity of variables that could affect the outcome of each and every one.
Okay.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
How do you set up and make a putt? Because, okay, well, a bird chirped, in Guam, and now all of a sudden the ball's not going to go in. You have the same path on the same ramp and the same line, and the balls aren't going in. It still is frustrating to me. I feel like people in here pointed out why it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm pointing out the frustration of something that is that set up. You're still not getting the same result over and over. And so I go on the golf course and I feel like, let's say I've putted 10 gazillion times and I know the speed the ball is going to roll and I know the exact line to take and I do everything perfect with my whatever, putter, I've got Tiger Woods putter in my hand and that still doesn't mean it's going to go in. That is just the mind numbing part of this game.
I bet you if you put those balls in Epsom salt and got the point of balance.
Yeah,
I
get
bet
the
you
salty ball trick going there.
They would all went in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe, we need to get Bryson involved in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, the comment section was alive and well for this video, which is great.
You can see even this one, 478 likes on this comment. He doesn't drop them the same way each time, but then you see other people that say, well, I zoomed in and you could see that the ball does in fact start in the exact same spot.
Yep.
I don't know. Whatever. He could be putting slight spin on him. How do you put spin on a ramp?
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'm not drinking carbonated beverages during the show. I feel like I'm got a lot going on.
You got
here.
some bubbles going?
I got some bubbly action going on.
Got some bubbles. I hate that feeling, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it to still beverages as opposed to sparkling, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't really like those.
The only reason I go for them is because they have a little bit of caffeine, but I don't feel like I'm drinking like a Monster or a Red Bull. But I do like a little bit of caffeine to keep me pepped up for the show, kick me off into the day. Plus, we're going to go play some golf here shortly. Whatever. I don't know. Josh, do we have anything else? What else do we got? I feel like we've covered everything under the sun.
We've covered pretty much everything. We got a little off track this episode, but
we did. We talked about comic books and condoms.
We need it.
And everything in between.
We need it. It's good for the program.
It is. It was a great show. All right, that's it for now. We'll be back next week. We'll get a chance to talk about everything that happened in the Olympics. I think by next week we will know who has been crowned with the gold medal in Olympic golf.
Yes.
That'll be exciting. So can't wait to time warp into next week's episode and enjoy talking about that. But until then, and for now, this is the Dan's Golf World Pod, and we will see you next week. Thank you.